Imagine you suddenly have an extra $1,000. Not enough to buy a house. Not enough to quit your job. Not enough to completely change your life overnight. But enough to make one decision that could change where you stand financially 10 years from now. And here's the uncomfortable part. Two people can receive the exact same $1,000 today. And 10 years later, one could have built a meaningful financial asset while the other has nothing to show for it. The difference isn't intelligence. It isn't luck. It's the decision they make when the money arrives. Because money doesn't just have a value today. Money has a direction. And that direction determines where you end up. The $1,000 experiment. Let's imagine two people named Alex and Ryan. Both are 25 years old. Both suddenly receive $1,000. Alex thinks, I've been working hard. I deserve something nice. So Alex spends the money on a new phone, restaurants, clothes, entertainment, and a weekend trip. 10 years later, Alex has memories from that weekend. But the $1,000 is gone. Ryan makes a completely different decision. Ryan asks, how can I use this money to improve my financial position? Maybe Ryan invests it. Maybe Ryan uses it to eliminate expensive debt. Maybe Ryan buys equipment that helps generate additional income. Maybe Ryan uses it to develop a valuable skill. The specific answer depends on Ryan's situation. But the important difference is this. Ryan doesn't ask, what can this money buy me? Ryan asks, what can this money become? That question changes everything. Your money has 4 possible jobs. Whenever extra money enters your life, it can usually do one of 4 things. It can increase your lifestyle. It can reduce your liabilities. It can increase your future earning power. Or it can buy assets that have the potential to grow. The first option feels the best immediately. The other 3 can improve your future. And this creates one of the biggest conflicts in personal finance. Present satisfaction versus future freedom. You aren't necessarily making a bad decision when you spend $1,000. The problem happens when every dollar is automatically assigned to your present self. Because your future self doesn't get a vote. You have to give them one. The hidden power of a small amount. Here's where the mathematics becomes interesting. Suppose you invested $1,000 and somehow achieved an average annual return of 8%. After 10 years, that $1,000 would grow to roughly $2,159. That's more than double the original amount. But the real lesson isn't that $1,000 magically becomes $2,000. The real lesson is that time gives small amounts an opportunity to become larger amounts. Now imagine you didn't stop at the original $1,000. Suppose you invested that initial $1,000 and then added just $100 every month. At an 8% average annual return, after 10 years you would have contributed $13,000. But the account could be worth roughly $19,000. That difference is the reward for allowing money to remain invested and potentially compound. And that's why the first $1,000 matters. It isn't because $1,000 makes you rich. It's because it can help you build the habit of turning income into assets. But investing isn't always the best answer. There's another important lesson. Invest everything is not a universal financial rule. If you have high-interest debt, using $1,000 to reduce that debt may be more valuable than investing it. Imagine you have expensive credit card debt. Every month, interest is working against you. You could invest your $1,000 and hope your investment earns a return, while simultaneously paying a high interest rate on money you already owe. In that situation, reducing expensive debt can be an extremely powerful financial move. This reveals something most financial advice misses. The best use of money depends on what your money is currently doing. Before asking how much your investment might earn, ask what your existing financial problems are costing you. The emergency fund decision. There is another situation where the $1,000 decision becomes incredibly important. Imagine you have $200 in your bank account. You have no emergency savings. Then your car breaks down. Or your laptop stops working. Or you suddenly face an unexpected bill. You may be forced to borrow money. And now the financial problem becomes bigger. This is why building an emergency reserve can be more valuable than chasing investment returns when your financial foundation is weak. A cash reserve isn't exciting. It doesn't produce a flashy chart. Nobody brags about having 3 months of expenses sitting in a savings account. But financial stability has enormous value. Because when something goes wrong, You don't have to destroy your investments or take expensive debt just to survive the month. Your $1,000 can therefore buy something invisible. Financial breathing room. The most underrated investment. Now consider another possibility. What if the $1,000 could increase your ability to earn money? Suppose someone spends $1,000 learning a valuable professional skill. Not because every course makes you rich. Not because education automatically creates income. But because certain skills can increase your productivity, improve your career opportunities, or help you create additional sources of income. Imagine that investment eventually helps someone earn even $200 more per month. That's $2,400 per year. The original $1,000 isn't simply sitting in an account anymore. It has potentially changed the person's earning capacity. And this is a crucial distinction. Some investments grow your money. Other investments grow the machine that produces your money. Your skills can be part of that machine. Your network can be part of it. Your business systems can be part of it. Your ability to solve valuable problems can be part of it. The $1,000 test. So here's a simple test you can use whenever you receive unexpected money. Ask yourself 5 questions. Question 1. Will this money reduce a major financial risk? If you're carrying expensive debt or have absolutely no emergency savings, solving that problem may come first. Question 2. Will this purchase increase my ability to earn? Could the money improve a skill, tool, qualification, or business process that genuinely has income potential? Question 3. Will this money become an asset? Instead of disappearing after the purchase, does it have the potential to retain or increase its value? Question 4. Will this decision make future decisions easier? For example, an emergency fund can prevent future borrowing. An automated investment system can reduce emotional decisions. Paying off debt can free future cash flow. Question 5. Will I still be happy I made this decision 5 years from now? This final question is powerful because your brain naturally focuses on immediate rewards. But wealth is often created by people who can give their future selves a seat at the table. The lifestyle trap. There's another reason the $1,000 decision matters. A single purchase usually doesn't destroy someone's finances. The bigger danger is what happens after the purchase. You buy something expensive. Then your lifestyle becomes slightly more expensive. Then another purchase feels normal. Then your monthly spending rises. Eventually, your income increases, but your financial position doesn't improve much. This is lifestyle inflation, and it can quietly absorb every raise you receive. That's why the smartest use of extra money isn't always to make your life look better. Sometimes it's to make your financial foundation stronger. Because there is a huge difference between earning more money and keeping more money available to build wealth. Think in decades, not purchases. Here's the perspective shift. Don't think about your $1,000 as a spending decision. Think about it as a 10-year allocation decision. You are essentially asking, where should this $1,000 live for the next decade? It could live in a depreciating product. It could disappear into temporary experiences. It could reduce debt. It could sit as emergency savings. It could potentially grow in investments. It could increase your earning ability. Each choice creates a different future. And that's the hidden rule. Every financial decision is also a decision about your future options. Spend everything today, and you may have fewer options tomorrow. Build assets, reduce expensive debt, strengthen your emergency fund, or increase your earning power. And tomorrow's version of you may have more choices. The bigger lesson. But don't misunderstand the lesson. This isn't really about $1,000. It's about how you think about money. Someone who learns to manage $1,000 intelligently is developing a skill that becomes far more valuable when the numbers get bigger. If you can't control $1,000, receiving $10,000 won't automatically solve the problem. You might simply make more expensive mistakes. But if you learn how to allocate small amounts strategically, those decisions can scale. The same principles apply to your first $1,000, your first $10,000, your first $100,000, and eventually much larger amounts. The number changes. The decision-making process doesn't. Your future self is an investor. Imagine yourself 10 years from now. You have more experience, more responsibilities, different goals. And that future version of you is going to live with the financial decisions you're making today. They will either inherit assets, or inherit debt. They will inherit flexibility or financial pressure. They will inherit choices or limitations. You don't need to predict exactly what the future will look like. You simply need to make decisions that give your future self more options. That's what good money management really does. It buys flexibility. It buys resilience. It buys time. And eventually, if you consistently make good decisions, it can buy freedom. Final perspective. The next time an extra $1,000 enters your life, don't immediately ask, "What can I buy?" Pause. Ask something more powerful. What can this $1,000 become? It could become less debt. It could become an emergency fund. It could become a skill. It could become an income-producing tool. It could become an investment. Or it could become something that genuinely improves your life. The important thing is to choose deliberately, because wealth isn't usually created by one giant financial decision. It's created by thousands of smaller decisions that point in the same direction. And sometimes, the decision that changes your next 10 years doesn't look impressive at all. It might simply be what you decide to do with the next $1,000.